All right, good evening, everyone. We are
Hey,
here
what's
with an
going on,
extra
Willis?
special guest, Hugh Wookwood, joining us this evening as we dive into some, comic book history, some Mount Rushmore type stories when it comes to comic book mythology and what makes the medium special. So, Jay, how you doing? Hugh, how you doing?
All right, I'm doing good, man. Love the opening to the show, by the way. It's hype.
Thank you,
It's hype. I love it.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
It's always a good time to hang out with the boys. What's going on, everybody?
No, it's
Yeah,
good.
just busy, man. Just busy, working, just doing stuff back and
Yeah,
forth.
winning competitions and bringing home belts, right?
Yo,
It's,
bro, you gotta,
you
you
guys,
gotta tell us
you
about the
guys,
belt. You gotta tell us about the
you
belt.
guys got it. You guys want to hear the bell? Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get some.
where's that thing?
Where's it get my boy? Kai.
It's so shiny. That's the thing.
All right, I'm gonna get someone to grab the bell for me, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
All
man.
right. So
Why not?
before we get there, lead us into the story.
Well, I was at Granite in Massachusetts, Manchester, um, Massachusetts, and I was invited for a show there. It's 40-year anniversary of TMNT, and I was there with a lot of other TMNT artists. Mike Ruth, shout out to my brother Mike Ruth. old Canada. We're down there representing North Checkers,
Absolutely.
and I don't know why my screen keeps doing that flickering. But anyways, we were down there, and yeah, I was up for a sketch battle. Mike had won it 2 years earlier. Thanks, son. Mike had won it 2 years earlier, and it went down. Camilo went down, and it went to Australia. And I came down, and I was kind of, I guess you could say I was kind of the dark horse.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think really people expected me to come down and take it like that, right?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I came down, and it was me and four other people. And, the drawing was Tom and Jerry dressing up as Guardians of the Galaxy. And I said, all right,
Wow.
let's go.
That's crazy.
Which
That's
one,
crazy.
whatever. And so, I just went, did my thing, and they called me the champ. At the end of it, I was the champ, you know?
People
So,
just don't
we had a
understand,
lot of fun, a lot of great artists there, it was good.
the speed and
Um,
creativity of Hugh Rookwood. That's the thing, right?
just like, a lot of really good artists, Chris Vance, a few other, it was good. It was a good time. And, Kevin Eastman,
Mhm.
just an absolutely positively amazing, amazing person.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy.
Most approachable, just encouraging, he is just, no, that dude, man, honestly, enough respect to him.
Mhm.
He's one of them ones, man, for real. He's one of them ones. He's
Yep.
enough respect.
Well, I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the gift that just keeps on giving.
They'll never die.
It never.
And,
It changes to the generation,
yep.
and it's actually a genius move to make them teenagers
Mhm.
because perpetually they can exist in any timeline. Right, the music can change, the settings can change, but the core values, the core ideas of teenagers and their overall story still resonates with every generation. So just an incredible story all over.
Well, when you're talking about this industry and this genre, when you're talking pillars, TMNT is one of those pillars.
Absolutely.
Just understood. Like that's just one of the pillars. It's such an amazing thing to have 40 years running. And I mean, no disrespect to anything like, you're on the Marvel or the DCs and you're doing these things that are recognized, like stuff like that. But it's kind of like you get on something like that and you already have that sort of history behind you. There it is. You know what I'm saying, with Marvel DC. But like TMNT, like that original creator own, you know what I'm saying? One of a kind, boom, and just to see it go all these years. Like, I mean, when you think about it, when I was introduced to TMNT, I think I was 12? You know what I'm saying? Like 12, 13, maybe?
Yeah.
Like it's that long. Like, I mean, that's one of them shows. I apologize, guys. I don't know why my thing is flickering.
No, it's all good. It's not hurting it's not hurting anybody. It's all good.
The way it's doing, it's just doing this flickering, and I don't
Yeah.
understand why. I don't understand why it's doing that.
It's all good.
I don't know if it's the StreamYard or if it's just the connection or what's up.
Yeah.
It's just
No, it's all good. It's not hurting
Yeah,
nothing.
it's all good, man.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of people when they like depending on when you discovered TMNT, you know how old you were, where you were doing, either you discovered it on television or you discovered it as that underground comic, which just made so many waves. I mean, like it started off as a joke and then became this huge phenomenon. It's just it's incredible how things happen. You know.
Yeah, and once you get onto lunch boxes and bed sheets and pajamas, you're part of the culture, right? And like you said,
you
Hugh,
are culture. You create.
yeah,
You're creating culture.
yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
And as you said, it's generational. So if you're a Wave One fan with the OG comic book, the black and white comic book that Eastman and Laird did, you might not even know about the cartoons that came later because that was your TMNT. But then you've got kids nowadays rocking, the new waves of stuff, and they don't even know what the original stuff was.
All
And
right.
once you're at that point, then you've made it.
Well, even the old role playing books from Palladium, right? TMNT role playing from Palladium. Like we played those characters role playing. You know, it was just like it's just honestly, it's just you look at and Turtle fans are just Turtle fans is next level. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like right up there with like Star Wars fans and you know what I'm saying, Trekkie fans. Like they're up there, man. They really love their turtle stuff and much respect, dude. They're really passionate and it's a culture, man. They love their turtles, man. They really do.
Yeah,
100%.
we had a massive line in front of our table at London Con,
Hmm.
and because Eastman was just down the aisle from us, and it was incredible the amount of people that were just waiting, and they came in waves. Like I don't even know if he fully understands the reach that TMNT has for the fan base.
Well, I think I don't know, man. I'm telling you, this dude on Saturday, I think he came in at like what 10 a.m. And I swear he stayed till like 10, 11 o'clock at night signing. Like he just did not leave until he got everybody. Like he's just one of them dudes, man. Like for real. I have so much respect. He really loves and respects his fans. He really does. He really loves and respects his fans. He's just such a solid man. I have a lot of respect for that man. Solid dude.
Yeah, and of course, what what Mirage has done over the years too. I mean, like it's not just him as an artist. It's also him as an industry leader, right?
Hmm.
The studio itself has gone and done massive things for artists and creators over the years, right? A lot of people don't realize just how much of an impact both of them have been able to do for the industry. So it's great to see. And you know what? So many other properties have been inspired by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, like like Street Sharks and all these anthropomorphic characters, right? Like Animal Warriors of the Kingdom now. So many different properties that are coming around, and I mean, it's just this wonderful idea of juxtapositioning, different situations and normal people becoming these incredible beings and coming in and just changing their worlds, right? It's crazy, crazy.
Well, last Ronin was so. Shout out to Ben Bishop and the rest of the crew. Like last Ronin was so good. Like if they had said that is it for the Turtles line, it would have been the perfect way to end it like just completely. Said that's it for Turtles, never going to touch it again. It would have been the perfect ending. Like they did just such a good job. It was such a great read, And what's beautiful about it, like you said, them being so young and stuff. there was, there's so much aspects of the Turtles you can go to with their training, everything, just how they grew up. You can go right back to the first point when the mutagen hits them, and then they start their training. And, maybe Splinter didn't train them completely in everything. Maybe he gave them a touch, and maybe he sent each of them to go train with other masters to master their craft. Like, you could do so much amazing stuff with them, like, and just go off. And now they're starting off with Raphael, and then they're going to be Donnie, and and just tell these backstories tell these stories on just the individual Turtles themselves. It's just crazy, man. Like, it'll never die, never die.
Yeah, they can go back. They can talk about like Raphael. I think is everyone's favorite Turtle in a lot of ways, because he out of every of them has those internal struggles, those demons that he deals with, being different and not being able to cope with it, as the other ones are able to hide that a little bit better, right? But he's always got this anger inside of him, and each generational of Turtles has been able to take different stories on how each Turtle has evolved over the years, right? And Raphael's, if you take his first cartoon iteration, he was just a Joker, right? But if you look at it, was just a consistent thing that Raphael always had these anger issues, as a teenager, trying to come to terms with who he is and where he fits into the world, right? And it was shown in the TMNT movie, so a lot of people first got a taste of that, like he was the loner, he was the one. And of course, his relationship with Casey Jones, you know what I mean? How that evolves with April O'Neil and all these great, interplays with the characters. And it's a testament to the genius of Eastman and Laird that they continue to recognize this and build upon it. And later on, talk about where the Foot Clan is, how it actually still connects with Japan, the families who are still involved, and Kasai and all these other characters who come later on, and and then Dimension X, talking about another entirely different facet of that. And then there's the branching out to the Archie comics. It's incredible how far TMNT has reached in the world, and now we're looking at what's it called, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right, with these brand new tunes, and it's interesting seeing how that's developing now too. So it's, again, generational, just absolutely incredible.
It's here to stay. It's not going nowhere.
No,
that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of seminal ideas that are here to stay, Kingdom Come. I'm sure everyone here in the panel has had a chance to read it and maybe even owns it. And they currently have a Kickstarter. Pardon?
Several times over, man. Several
times over. Yeah, I've got it downstairs for sure. And apparently there's a documentary they're doing a Kickstarter for.
Yeah.
I did. This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Really?
Yeah. All right. Really? So you know what? I'll bring it up.
Well, I've got the video. Why don't we play the video first?
Sure.
It's the official clip. You can see it there on the. Actually,
left to right.
Do the dark out screen first. The legend of. No, let's do the legend of first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fell a great star from heaven, and I beheld and heard an angel.
I remember when The Dark Knight Returns came out. I remember when Watchmen came out. So of course I remember when Kingdom Come came out.
Kingdom Come is 4 separate issues, 48 pages apiece. It was an all-immersive kind of lifestyle for me.
It blew people away. I mean, this was the most sought-after book there was.
This was something very new, very different.
No one had seen anything like that at that scale before.
It was amazing.
I never thought from anything that people would still be talking about this book 25 years later.
There were voices and lightnings and thunderings. This was my dream.
What makes Alex Ross art stand out from the others is his approach to realism.
You think of a Superman, you're thinking of the Alex Ross Superman.
It almost looked like Renaissance paintings that we were told these were the masters. Alex was taking some of those techniques and applying them to superheroes.
1938, DC released the first issue of Action Comics, the magazine that introduced Superman.
It gives you motion, it gives you expression, all in like a little magazine that you can afford.
comic art would abstract the human form in a way that was very inspiring to me as a young person and something I would imitate for my whole life.
Wish fulfillment. This is power fantasy. If I just had the abilities to do these things and make the world a better place, I could do it.
He makes them look like real live superheroes. They look like Olympian gods.
You gotta have the balance of the eyes perfect. Let me tell you the story of Kingdom Come, page for page, panel for panel.
It was such a huge, epic story.
The DC fans, when he did their favorite characters, and then they came back to save the world one more time, just minds blown.
I see a shot that is, I know, since it was like a pencil layout through final rendering, and then I see it on a bus ad or a poster or a shot setup, I'm going like,
oh, totally. You totally see Alex's influence.
The way material folds the shadows, the angst of the character, the history of the character. I mean, he's like Stellar Adler. He's the master class of how you approach comics. This is a true art form.
It would weigh on us the way it would be perceived, but I always had this sense of like, oh, I'm making a legend right now.
That's pretty epic.
That's crazy. That is just insane. And yeah, the Kickstarter's up right now. If you want to bring that up, Steve, because Hugh, what was the first time you heard of Kingdom Come? I mean, was it
back? I'm trying to remember exactly the year, but back at Shock Studios, Dave and Christian and Christian Zanier, Sergio Chana, Marvin Mariano, you know what I'm saying? Dave Watkins, and it was like, I think it was Dave actually who got the book first, and he brought it in. He's like, guys, you gotta see, the first issue, Kingdom Come, and you gotta check it out, dude. It's like, that was it. That was it. That was just like, what is going on?
And Ross had kind of set the world on fire with Marvels a little bit earlier, where he kind of did the same, nostalgic Rockwellian, Norman Rockwell kind of take on the Marvel heroes. And then when he went to do it with Kingdom Come, and I think it almost works better with like some of those DC characters because they're so classic and almost from that time. That you're right, Huey. It totally blew my mind.
Yeah, I was in college, and I think this before Hugh and I and you Steve, before we started hanging out, seriously. I remember walking into I think it was Silver Snail, and there was this display. You know how they had that bay window where they would put up a couple of these mannequins and all these themed things. And I remember that they had this thing. It was like Kingdom Come launches today, right? Something like that, right? And I remember I was like, what the hell is Kingdom Come, right? And I remember I walked in and I'm like, hey, what's that display in the window? And they were like, oh, it's this new book, right? This is amazing, right? And I'm like, all right, who draws it? And they said, no, it's painted. I'm like, I remember throwing my head back. I'm like, painted? What the hell are you talking about? He's like, yeah, it's Alex Ross. I'm like, who the hell is Alex Ross, right? Because again, at the time, he was well known again for Marvels and things like that. But there is something about Marvels which I think Kingdom Come really lends itself well. The golden age of comics, the fact that and I love the story notes, right? The idea that they are gods, right? And it's referenced multiple times in the book that we view these heroes as gods, right? And I remember picking up the first issue, and I could never put it down. I could never put it down. You know, my brother Dex, he basically stole it from me. Like, he would not put that book down. Like, the page after page after page, and it's really a shame. Here's the thing about Kingdom Come too, right? It's really a shame it's so small. You know, the format of the book is just, it cannot contain the frescoes that Alex was putting together. You want to see them on these murals. You know, you want to actually just pin them up on the wall and see them like that, because what you actually see in the book, it's, you don't see it every time you look at it again and again and again. You see something more every single time. And again, the overall layout, the story with you know, a pastor and the way he looks at the world, you know, the Spectre and what they do, it's completely different from what you would expect from any other DC book. It literally takes characters who, in a lot of ways, are forgotten from like years ago, right? And don't have their own books anymore, and it brings them to the limelight, and then talks about their kids and their descendants and the war that metahumans have, and the ants that just live around the rest of the world, and we're just being crushed by these boots. You know what I mean? It's just an incredible look at superpowers as a, and again, what we do to defend ourselves. It's amazing. It's an incredible book. Like, I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, and I guess looking back on it too, it's kind of like a comment on comics at the time, because you've got the new wave of heroes in Kingdom Come who are, you know, more aggressive than the old guard, and you know, the old guard's kind of pushed into the background, and that's kind of what was happening in the 90s, right? With the debut of Image and Wildstorm and Top Cow and all those houses that were creating different kinds of stories for a different market, and they really turned everything on its head. And it's kind of interesting how, like, when you look at how Kingdom Come kind of plays out in terms of, you know, the specter of good and evil, you get a story where it's almost like the old heroes are still worth something, you know.
Well, Kingdom Come is like, honestly, it's just the perfect book when you want to introduce somebody to comic books, when you want to say what is the power of comic books and what that this medium comic books can do. You give them Kingdom Come, and it's just like, oh, okay, I understand now. Like, you know, no disrespect to Marvels or anything like that, but Kingdom Come is, the writing and artistry was like, when you're talking about the perfect merger, you that's what it was. Like, just a beautiful read and a visual, just, you know, fantastic voyage. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it was the perfect writing and artistry together. Just, you know, it moved as great as any movie and read as beautifully as any novel. Like, it was just an amazing, yeah. And like James said, you couldn't put it down. Like, you read it and you can't put it down. Like, it's just like things that were said in it, quotes, just, oh man, like references to biblical terms. Like, it was just like, oh my God, it was unreal. And like, at that point, you hadn't read nothing like that. Like, hadn't seen nothing like that.
Yeah, the theme of gods and mortals was evident almost every step of each stage of the book. You know, we talk about Batman's faction, right? We talk about Lex Luthor's faction. We talk about, you know, the old guard versus the new guard. How you know, the metahumans of the future do not really regard humans as actually, you know, being in their way. Literally, they're just inconveniences, right? All the themes of protecting people versus doing what's right versus what's wrong. Like, you know, all these, you know, I think the most powerful one of the most powerful scenes is when, I can't remember, I think it's like American Avenger. I think that was what his name was. He literally was turning on the immigrants on Liberty Island and saying that, you know what, we don't have enough room in America for all you, and started literally murdering people. Right? Spoilers ahead. Sorry, just keeping it out there. And that was the spark that, you know, got Superman to act, right, and return, right. For those of you who haven't read the book, it's an incredible scene, and it was an incredible scene about the current social political aspect at the time, and now that, you know, reading this book, it's hilarious to think that you can still find parallels in today's society that really resonate well in the book today. You know what I mean? Like they were like, it's the writing was just so genius, and it really did play with the idea of if someone did have the power to stop everything, right? And had the power to make judgment over other people, and then that word comes up multiple times in Kingdom Come as well. You know, who has the power to render judgment, right? And again, like characters like the Spectre, really, you know, there's like, again, if you haven't read it, which I don't know why you haven't read it yet, please read it. It is just an incredible read, but again, it allows you to look at yourself and really take away from that in a fantastic setting. And you don't even have to love comics. You don't even have to have ever seen a single comic book to understand the themes that are involved, right? Like the first time we see Superman, he's a shell of his former self. You know what I mean? He's literally taking care of animals in a barn and becoming a farmer again. Like, wow! Like he went from god status to, like, you know, mortal man in the decades that we haven't seen him, right? And it's just a wonderful take on humanity, right? On the human condition. It's just an incredible idea. Yet dealing with gods and mortals, it's again, beautiful tale. Incredible.
Yeah, I've always seen the DC characters as analogous to the pantheon of gods in mythology. Like their power scales are off the chain, right? And
Understatement.
yeah, it's a complete understatement. And you know, you got to wonder how any city in the DC universe isn't under reconstruction like weekly, like because their power levels, like everyone's Dragon Ball level with what they can do.
They're beyond Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why the greatest superhero of all time, bar none, there is no question, will be Batman. Batman is a mere mortal taking on an outwitting gods, as equals. He is the
James,
pantheon.
you're gonna get some fire now.
It's not that, like, you know what?
I love because no, James, finish.
Right now. The opinions expressed are those of the participants.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate a good story. Look, I love Batman. Just like I know.
No, you know what? Like, let's not even get it twisted, man. Kingdom Come also was created to remind cats, you know what? There's all these superheroes out there, but let's make you remember why Superman's that dude, you know? Yeah. And it was just done. And I'm not even a big Superman fan. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a Superman fan. Sometimes I find that, you know, his stories are just so up and down with his power level. I can't get into him. But Kingdom Come was just a beautiful way to reinforce that. Look, we are DC Comics, and this is the dude. Remember that. He's the first dude, and this is the dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it was done in a way, hands down, you just have to bow to it. It was just amazingly done. Like, you know, all the banter with him and Batman still throughout the years. You know, the beautiful scene when they're in the Batcave and Superman is trying to convince him to help him. And he's like, but we can still be the world's finest team. Like, I just was like, that was so beautifully inserted there, man. You know, we can still be the world's finest team. And then when it was like, yeah, but you're forgetting about one character, one person. And he was like, who? And he's like, Marvel. You know, because a lot of times people didn't give Captain Marvel that.
He didn't get his due.
He didn't get his due, and I've always loved Captain. I always thought Captain Marvel.
He's your guy, isn't it? Isn't he you?
Yeah, they punked that guy to me. Like, I think he should be just smacking guys left, right, and
center.
Huey,
Captain Marvel, Shazam's your guy, right? In the DC universe, would you argue?
Yeah, that's my dude. Like, that's my dude. Like, and to see him brought to that level of like, no, there's someone who can stop you. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you're forgetting about Marvel. And I just thought that was just beautifully done because it's just the perfect, because here's a guy, Superman, who has these, who because of who he is godlike. And here's this character who has been bestowed the power of the gods. You know what I'm saying? It was just a beautiful, like just beautifully done.
Yeah.
I was just like, man.
I also like the way Diana
Mm-hmm.
reminds Superman of his weaknesses.
Yeah.
Right. She dons the full armor. Right. Brings out the sword, and of course Superman, not even thinking, picks it up. He runs his finger across it and it cuts him. He's like, "What the hell? It just cut me." And he goes, "You've always been weak against magic, Clark." And
Which is the setup.
that was a setup. That was like to anybody who doesn't know, to anybody who has no idea about the history of Superman, about Mixoplex, about all these characters that can truly defeat Superman, right? They're reminded in that one instance is like, yeah, Diana can kill you with magic. Anyone can kill you with magic. Superman is like blue kryptonite, red kryptonite, all this BS. No, but one consistency has always been with Superman, that magic. He's never been able to deal with magic properly, and that became incredibly evident. It doesn't matter how strong you are. We're talking about the strength level of Shazam versus Superman. That's not even a question anymore. The real tipping point at that one stage was definitely magic, and he had to figure it out. He's like, all right, what do I do now? I'm being destroyed here. What's my next move? And again, in that moment, he like right away. Wow, what a conclusion! It was amazing. Again, written so well.
And Marvel's showdown with Kal-El was so epic because not only were Waid's words like just so poignant, but also it was a battle that showed that each one of them were remarkable in their own way and in their own light. So the amount of damage and the way that the damage that Shazam was able to put onto Kal-El was amazing. And then Kal-El coming out of it the way that he did, considering, Huey, that you're holding a belt, it's kind of like some of those wrestling things, like where the Hulkster would kind of find his energy and come back. It had that kind of vibe that when you're reading it, you can't help but be hyped.
I don't even know I don't even know how much we can talk and reveal because there's so much
oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many moments. It's not like there's only one big moment or two. Like, there's just so many moments. But I have to say, him flying to the Gulag and Shazam knocking him out of the sky and standing over him.
Yeah.
And when he cried, 7 thunders under their voices. Guy, that for me was just like, oh, guy, it still sends shivers. Still sends chills down me, like, guy, just him standing over like, boy, you done did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But to use that which is a biblical term,
yeah,
7 thunders under their voices. Guy, I was like, it was just set up like James, setting up from Wonder Woman right to that point right there. You were like, then Batman said, yo, you forgetting about someone can stop you, Marvel. Yeah. And for some people, Superman might have been the Superman show in that regards, but for me, I feel like they elevated Marvel in that series too, to say, no, this is one of them dudes you need to pay respect to, and you know what I'm saying, because he's very, very powerful character, and I felt like with Marvel, I always felt like they just never done him right. You know what I'm saying? Considering his abilities, I just always felt that they've never done him right. And I just felt like Kingdom Come, scenario, you just felt the epicness of what Superman was in with that situation. And it just like, if it was a movie, it would have to be like 4 films. You know what I'm saying? 4 3-hour films. On some Lord of the Rings type. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell a Kingdom Come in like one.
It would be incredibly difficult, true. Yeah. But it has been done, and it can be done well. I mean, I remember the Avengers, and I'm thinking to myself, how do you contain all these huge egos into one film? And somehow they made it happen, right? But especially with Shazam, with Captain Marvel. I mean, I always thought that it's a shame about the naming rights and the fact that they, for the most part, they basically dwarfed Marvel because there's this constant struggle with again Marvel, right? They're like, oh, we own Captain Marvel, right? We have our own Captain Marvel, and then there was always that thing, and of course Superman being the big boy on on the hill, and again, like even Captain Marvel himself was he was acquired by DC from what was it, Duck Comics? I can't remember. Huey Comics, wasn't it? Yeah,
something like
because at one point
or Atlas
Captain
or
Marvel
something
was
like that.
outselling Superman.
Yeah,
that's why they acquired him, because Captain Marvel was actually outselling Superman at one point.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, the story, the power of Atlas, the intelligence, the speed of Hermes, like all these amazing.
Guys, like take a moment now. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like these abilities from the gods, not just like here's a little bit. No, you can do what Zeus does. You can do what Hercules does. You can do what Atlas does. You can do what Mercury does. You can do like like Shazam, man.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, be slapping cats, guy. Like it's not like for real. Like he's one of them dudes. Like if you're looking at it on the scale of like humans, gods, then celestial beings above gods. Like Captain Marvel is one of them dudes. Like he should be one of them dudes. Just lay it smacketh, on cats, right? But for me, I just felt that Kingdom Come, like considering like he was getting. Well, I don't want to reveal too much story for people who have read, but considering the situation, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like they just did him right, and even the way Superman stopped the situation, I loved how he stopped the situation, because really that was the only way he could really stop that situation, so it was just beautifully thought out. Kingdom Come is a beautifully thought out book. Just every nuance of it is just thought out. There's the main plot, subplots, like it's just
it's a chess game. It was literally a chess game.
It is really what you need to look at and say, okay, when I'm doing my thing, like how do I want it to feel? How do I want it to move? It's one of those Bibles for what do you want as a good book, as a good comic book. If you want to leave something as a good comic book, it's one of those things you can learn so much from it, reading it. It's just
I think one of the things that you really can take from it, especially if you're like a creator or a writer, is that you got to give each character like their moment. And Kingdom Come does a really good job of giving each character their moment and also staying true to their character. It's not where you get to one point in the story and going, huh, why is so and so acting this way? It's no, like you said, Huey, what was introduced in issue 1 plays out in issue 2, 3, and then comes to fruition in 4, but also has ties to stuff that happened pre Kingdom Come. So you go through the history of the DC universe and little snippets, and the relationships, like even the relationship between Dick and Bruce, right, is on a level that makes total sense considering how Bruce is, and they've played on it more so as we've moved into the 2000s, and if you look at Kingdom Come, that it's like several character studies all at once.
Even when you look at like even Wonder Woman and just seeing her change with the way the world is, and that whole thing about man's world, and just look at this, and just being just totally disgusted by the way things are, and just like ready to just take it to that next level. And it's like, no, we can't be that. We can't be what these guys are being if we're going to call ourselves heroes, and those contradictions of just the frustration of seeing things a certain way and being like, you know what I'm saying? Well, fine, if this is the way it's going to be, then let's be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just...
Well, I really was fascinated by the character Magog. You know what I mean? I mean, it is, and as you said earlier, Steve, it was that crossroads that Image decided to take on, right? Are comics for kids anymore? Are comics for adults? Image was like 5 creators, right, who came and said, you know what, I'm tired of drawing comics for a giant corporation that is sort of holding itself back. and we want to do comics that talk to today's youth, right? And that's exactly what happened, right? And they were all young guys at the time, right? And it really rocked the comic book world. Same thing with Top Cow. Same thing with all these other up and coming studios. That again, no one thought in a million years that they could topple the big two, right? DC, Marvel. They were like, no, we're never gonna even scratch the surface. Then along comes Image, shakes up the whole stratosphere of comics, and now DC's basically like reeling back from that, and yeah, Magog was also a simile of that. It was a representation of these superheroes. They weren't willing to take the risks that I'm gonna take, right? And it all started with the Joker, right? It's incredible, right? The whole setup, everything that led Superman to depart and just walk away from being a superhero anymore, and then the new generation coming in and just doing everything, and how Magog actually what his character development through the story went through, and everything it was incredible. Just a wonderful piece of writing, right?
Again, like you said, it came down to that. What is a hero? And you had opposing opinions on what heroing is, like what a hero should be, and Superman walking away like this isn't what it's supposed to be, and walking away. And then it's like being told you shouldn't have walked away. We needed you. You were the best of us. If the best of us walks away, then what what I'm saying? What are we left with? If the best of us doesn't see hope, then what are we left with, right? And that's what you get. Like, just okay, well, it's the wild, wild west now. I just got my own sort of ideas and ideals of what I should be doing, right? And so if a guy thinks that, has the mindset that if you do this, your punishment should be this, and I don't have a problem to kill, that's what he's going to do. You commit a crime, I'm going to kill you. Bam. Like, it's just, and then you just got those extreme levels going on, right? And it was just crazy. It was a beautiful chaos, man. It was like, I loved it. It's just like, it was, like you said, it just spoke to so many different things that is going on. And even, like you said, even now when you read and you see certain things, it's just like, we cut from an older cloth, and some of the newer books I look at and I just kind of go, oh man, like really, like Hulk is crushing people's heads and doing, like, what I'm saying? Like back in the days, like when you read a Hulk book, Hulk might have been savage, Hulk might have smashed things, but Hulk would never kill. That part of Banner in him would never cross that line and kill. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like now cats are killing. Captain America's killed. Like all sorts of cats have killed. And you just get this kind of wow, man. But Kingdom Come was speaking on all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Way back, it's just an amazing book, amazing book.
So Steve, not that they need any help, but
No.
if you want to throw up the Kingdom Come Kickstarter just for what, yeah. So guys, again, not that they need any help,
but look at these numbers. Look at these numbers.
Wow.
Dun dun dun.
If you're interested in this DVD,
to the bank.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in supporting this DVD, this the Legends of the Kingdom Come, they've already smashed through. They've already smashed through their $50,000 goal. They're at $356,420.
7x of their asking price.
Just absolutely
7x. Wow.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Let's see exactly how far they are. They are. All right, it's no longer even bothering to tell us anymore. But yeah, like crazy amounts of money being tossed around here. You have several different levels. You can pledge $1, you can pledge $30, right? But the reality is that this is a. I love this. Thank you for 350. Like crazy. So now they're going to be able to go into different parts of the storytelling. They have mini prints that 1 in 100 backers gets a signed mini print by Alex Ross. They have all their other tiers. Of course, the Blu-ray Kickstarter edition is $80. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this documentary. And there's just so much going on and so many things. It would be great to see and hear, what the thought process was. I mean, there's a lot of things that go behind the scenes of making a book, as Huey, and Steve, both of you guys are so experienced in that. I mean, it really is just a how do you bring these characters to life and make them interesting, and for us mere mortals, Steve, trying to do a Kickstarter is difficult, but obviously they don't need any help here. Oh, and by the way, Steve, congratulations once again on
Thank you.
Atrium, and
That's right, baby.
you've heard Atrium.
Baby.
Oh yeah. Atrium 1 to 5 has smashed its goal, and guys, there's still time. There's 20 days left to go for Atrium. They're at $1,850 of a $112,000 goal, and of course, incredible book. So guys, definitely get your Atrium right now.
Time of the independent, baby. Time of the independent, man. Come out, man. Put out,
absolutely.
Never a better time to, these last couple of years to get your creative work out there, man. Just your original ideas, your creative work out there. I mean, with Steve, it was mad long past time. He's always had a lot of amazing creative ideas, and it's so amazing to see him and the rest of the crew just getting it up, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? There he is, pretty boy Steve.
Well, I think Huey's also being a little bit too modest, because he is really like the Yoda for a lot of us on the art scene. He was the trailblazer, going to shows, getting his work out there, the way that he interacts with the fans. If you've ever had the pleasure of going to a show and going to meet Hugh, not only are you dazzled by his amazing skill with a pen, but also his personality is it's second to none. And he is the guy that we all kind of emulate and try to walk right, because he's the one who started it. He's the one who has set the standard. And any success that I have, it's thanks to Huey.
I can't take that. I mean,
you have to, though.
But I can't take that. Steve, you just you about the work, man. You're about the work, man. You put in that grind, you're about the work. James put in his grind, he's about the work. You guys are just about the work, man. And you guys, it's just now considering from when we started and how difficult it was to do things and how expensive it was.
Yeah.
Now it's just opened up. Now we have so many opportunities to just do certain things and be in these venues that's not going to kill us financially and still get our breaths out there. So let's do it. I mean, you know me from that thing, but we've all had that hustle. We just had to go out there and go do it. And no, I'm not the big super famous name, nothing like that. But on the circuit, a lot of people know me because I got out there, right? And I put it out there, and I just coming up with you guys. It's like all of you guys have great ideas and stuff, and it's just like, if not now, when? Like, you know what I'm saying? If not now, when? Do it. Like, it's the time of the independent, man. Do it. It's never been a better time for us with so many avenues to get things done and not have to, it doesn't have to kill us. Like, you remember how back in the days it took to make a $5 and we had to print like 25,000 books. Like, what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So we sell it for $5.
It was
like,
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now we don't have to print on demand, all these other different things. Like, you don't even have to print right away if you don't want to, because there's web comics that you can post and stuff like that. So it's just a beautiful time, and I mean, there's a lot of guys who are independent and they're not even trying to get on any big, with any big companies. They're happy to do their thing, man. So it's great to see Atrium coming out and like, yeah, man, you guys on the 5th book doing your thing. That's what it's about, Get that people's trust and let them know that they got a good product here, They want to back it.
Well, the time is right, and I totally agree with you that if you have your own Kingdom Come, there's really nothing stopping you from making it. There's no editor, There's no gatekeeping. If you can assemble the talent and you've got the drive and the will, then you can make your own story. You can come up with your own version of Kingdom Come with your own characters, your own IP, and inspire the next generation of readers and creators.
And I just want to say one more thing on this, just sort of this topic here. Like, Steve went about it the right way. He got multiple books done and ready to go before he launched the first one. And that's the way to go as an independent, because it's very hard for people to say, okay, I want to back something, because so many independents start off and fall off. Some people don't make even second book. You know what I'm saying? And so if somebody's going to invest in your stuff, like, it's like, well, why should I spend the money with you and not pick up the Spider-Man book that's already, you know what I'm saying, has that history? I know it's going to come out every month. So as an independent, it's so important that you're timely and just boom, boom, boom. And I tell everybody, man, get 3 books done, man. Get 3 books done, and then launch the first one. And I'm telling you, by the 3rd, if you can show people that by the 3rd and 4th book that they're, I can get trust me, it just changes. I'm watching it happen for Maze Studios right now with their series called The Mistakes. They're like going on books 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
And I watched it change right from book 3. I just started seeing people now really starting to pick it up because there's that consistency, and this is the way to go. 5 books now. Steve put all these 5 together. Now it's a trade.
Absolutely.
Now with the trade paperback, guess what? Now you're in Chapters in Indigo. Now you can shop to all these other, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now it's a graphic novel. It's a book. So now it opens up where you can get the book in, not just comic book shops. You know what I'm saying? So that's really where people want to be going. And I just wanted to say that as a sort of thing to anybody who's looking to do independent stuff, Get a couple books, get a couple issues done, tear it out, be about that.
Yeah, no, I'm on board with that, with what he was saying. I mean, like, right now it's a crazy time for creators. I mean, like, there's never been a better time to make your dreams happen, right? And Kickstarter and Indiegogo and even GoFundMe, crowdsource has really empowered artists and creators and people who want to just tell a story or just like bring something to life. There's never been a better time to at least give it a shot. I mean, there's nothing can hurt you in today's digital world, because for just putting a few pieces together on paper and showing people what you think is possible has never been possible before, right? Before as Hugh mentioned, and the same thing with Steve, we used to have to go to a printer. We have to ask, how much is it for a 10-page book? How much is it for a 24-page book? And they would come back to us with numbers like, minimum runs of 2,000, 3,000 books. You'd be looking at a bill of like, freaking something crazy like, $10,000, $15,000, right? And you sit there, you're like, how's this, like, how are we going to make this work? And today, with print being as affordable as it is right now, with avenues like Kickstarter and all these, again, you can make things happen. You can get people galvanized. You can get people interested in what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, and you can finally, after all this time, you can actually get something. And again, my hat's tipped to the Comix Asylum publishing group. I mean, incredible, guys, incredible. HM 1 to 5, guys. If you haven't already, please consider backing this book, as they're well underway. 20 days to go. 1850 on the scoreboard. They can keep going, guys. We can get stickers. We can get.
We'd love to unlock some of our stretch goals.
Yep. So we got to get there, guys. We got to get there. But again, huge congratulations to the team. And yeah, guys, there's still more to come. So again, congratulations, Steve.
Thank you.
This is just the start. This is just the launch pad. To bigger, even bigger and better things. This is just to show cats Comix Asylum can do it, get it done, and like now the world of Comix Asylum just starts to expand from here. It's just a beautiful thing, man. It's just amazing to see, and I'm just happy that guys are doing it, because if not now, when? You know, not
No
now.
time like the present.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
I think we got a bunch of comments in the chat right now, Steve. Why don't we just go through a few of those?
Anything?
Yeah,
in
let
the
me roll back.
Got the big foot and the elbow.
Mothman 46 says the champ is here. So talking about you, Hugh, with the
Yes,
belt.
sir, baby. Yes, sir. Break the walls down. on some Jericho type stuff, bully.
Looks like you have a challenger here. Is he putting that belt on the line? Because I have a different way of acquiring it. That's Andrew Davis.
Why you gotta be with even looking? What's this little devil? What's going on with your little evil emoji guy? What's going on? Why can't you love?
Mothman, I was introduced to TMNT by Megan Fox.
What a terrible way. What a terrible
way. I got to meet Judith Hogue, the original April
O'Neil. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was great. I got to, like original Leonardo, Raphael. Like, it was just great, man. It was just like, it was really cool, man.
Nice.
Really cool.
Secret Avenger says The Rock is in the house.
The Hugh says, oh, you're
Lord Hoagie, Donatello rules.
Yes, he does.
Skeletor says that Alex Ross made them so realistic. And I think that that's a great point, because up until that time, it was always like whatever the style of the artist was, that was kind of like outlandish or extraordinary. And there were artists that were pretty realistic, even though they had like John Buscema, Claudio Castellini, Neil Adams, like that ilk of illustrators. Like, they weren't comic book artists, they were illustrators who just happened to be telling comic book stories. That was as close as you got to realism, right? And then I guess you could say that Jim Lee followed in that tradition with a little bit of a different kind of energy. But it wasn't until Alex Ross started doing those kind of paintings, and I guess like even like Mobius was doing paintings before then, and Sienkiewicz was painting, but they had a style that wasn't Rockwellian, where it could have like been part of pop art that would appear in a gallery, So yeah, I totally agree with you, and I think it was that level of realism that set Alex Ross apart, but also then elevated the projects that he worked on.
Whenever you go to a Comic-Con, right, wherever he is, if it's San Diego Comic-Con or if it's like New York Comic-Con or any of these bigger, huge cons that Alex happens to go to, he sets up like a gallery. I don't know if you've ever seen the displays, guys, but literally it's a gallery.
Yeah,
It's not
Chicago. Yeah,
exactly. It's not like these comic book, big splash, like things, craziness. No, it looks like a actual beautiful gallery. You walk through, you see the pieces, you talk to literally art authorities, right? They're like white glove, like suit and tie, and you say, how much is this piece? You literally talk to them like you're buying pieces of artwork, because you are. Yeah, you're buying and it says this is 1 of 300. This is 1 of 500. They're numbered, right? So when you buy an Alex Ross piece of work, you were actually buying something for your collection, right? And people buy them and put them in their living rooms. Even people who don't like comic books, they are just that good, and that's what really sets them apart.
Jay, where I ran into his artwork and I didn't expect it at all? In Vegas. I was in a mall in Vegas on the Strip. And I guess what they do is they rotate galleries in and out of this particular venue. And for me, being a comic book head, when I walked by and I saw like all of Alex Ross's stuff, and I mean large prints and large versions of it, I was like, oh my Lord. It was mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew, okay, this dude's on another level. Like he is true art. Not that pop art and comic book stuff. Like that's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not denigrating it, but when I'm saying that his stuff is elevated to another level, where the casual fan will walk by and go, "Oh, what's this?" Yeah, unbelievable.
No, 100%. Yeah, I mean,
oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'll tell you. Like, one of the things is like, I was like always saying to myself, man, I said, oh, I would love to see a live action Kingdom Come. But the truth of the matter is, I want to see a live action Kingdom Come, but I want to see those people that he's drawn. Like, I don't want to see anybody else trying to play those people. I want to see exactly what I see those people representing those characters in the book on screen. And that's really powerful. Like, I don't want to see, like, and I know that could never happen, but it's just like, I go, I really think it would be wrecked. Because there would be something in me just going, that's not that guy from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what's interesting though, Hugh?
It's just crazy.
In some of the videos for the documentary, they actually have 3D animation of Superman, and he looks just like Ross painted him.
I was gonna say the way to do that is to take the illustrations, scan them in, and really make it like this beautiful art piece that's come to life. That's the only way you could truly do it justice.
Action. I don't think you can get like. I think you have to 3D animate. Like, let's get all the best guys in Blender.
Absolutely.
And, and you are correct. And you're correct, Hugh. It can't be one movie. It's got to be an ongoing series. It's got to be like, it's got to be like 12 episodes minimum, right? So they're more like 24.
Absolutely. There's too much there, too much nuance. There's too much plot, subplot. There's just too much things going on for you to think you could get that done in one movie. Look what they tried to do with like Dark Knight. You know what I'm saying? And they made Dark Knight 2 episodes, and it still didn't really come off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, respectfully to me, I'd watch. I was like, they didn't do it. It didn't hit like reading the book. It just needed to have that pacing and stretch out a little more. You know what I'm saying? But this is something I don't want to see somebody else trying to play that dude. I want to see that dude. I want to see that design. I want to see that look. I want to see that feel. Like, Wonder Woman, everybody, like, I want to see that. And you're absolutely right. Like, let's get out the Blender crew and start 3D, messing it up, because it's just, I think that's the only way to do it and do it real justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. James Hallett has a good comment at 1026, just below Skeletor.
I remember the Muppets Lord of the Rings reenactment at Silver Snail's front window. That was pretty epic.
Oh wow, man!
That's going back.
Going back.
Yeah.
Mr. Wonderful. I don't care for DC except Kingdom Come. That was amazing. Pulled me in hard back like in 97, 98 when I got that series. Wish I still had them.
I bought it. I respect that. I'll be straight. I wasn't a big DC man till Kingdom Come.
I bought it multiple times over. Like I've had them. I've given them away. I've bought them back. I've bought the anthology. My Dex bought the anthologies. It's crazy.
Very nice. Ryan Lee. Hi all. Alex Ross is my all-time favorite comic artist. He truly captured the godly nature of the characters. So true.
100%.
Definitely.
This is for you, James. Batman always finds a way to win.
No.
Here we go.
Let me be clear about what I said.
You talk about all these godly characters, and I was like, Batman always finds a way to win.
Let me be clear about what I said. Although let's just really quickly, okay? Batman is a strategist. Batman is the thing, and again, he challenges gods. He's literally gone to Acropolis, and he's literally stared death in the face with.
Because someone wrote him that way.
Hey man,
right, Batman in the next episode and say, you know what, Batman, I'm Superman, tired of you. Let me chuck you into the sun, and it's done. 2 pages and it's done. Trust me.
James. Considering what Huey's saying, right? And this is what I say to all Batman fans. When Doomsday shows up in BVS and my man's hiding behind a busted
I know, right? I know.
That to me was all I needed to say about Batman.
Let me tell you,
that's so true.
I like Batman. No, come on.
Here we go.
The man was a real help.
Watch your style. Justice League. Not Justice League Unlimited, Justice League. Remember the animated?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember when they had to go to Themyscira
Yep.
to rescue Wonder Woman's mother, Hera, and it was Ares.
Sure. Yeah.
And he was there, and he was so they're all fighting. And Batman said, "I'll never forget. I'm going to stay back. This is bigger than me." And I went. I said, "Favorite arrow. There ain't no batarang going to do nothing." He whipped one batarang and went poof, and he went, "This is bigger than me." Go to it, guys. Go, gang, go. It was like there was nothing. Let me say, there's nothing Batman can do. Batman can't throw no acid on no Ares. Batman can't hit him with no bolo. Batman, it's just let's.
No. Okay.
When Batman is in Gotham City handling Gotham stuff, I love this dude.
Yeah. In his element, he's
My
amazing.
favorite villain is Ra's al Ghul. Like, I love Batman, Son of the Demon. Any of you guys read that? That is my Batman story. But Bully, as soon as you put him in Justice League, and then he talking trash. And he walking up to guys, big chested, talking trash. I said, "What are you talking about, Batman? Which one of you guys can't chuck you? You telling me Green Lantern just said, you know what, enough. You don't need to breathe no more. Breathe. Oxygen done. What are we talking about? You can't change into yellow and stop Green Lantern."
This is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying. So I don't want to get nothing twisted neither. Okay, I'm not stupid. I know that when push comes to shove, a mortal's not going to take on a god, right? I know that for a fact. Which is why in I can't remember which series it was, but there was a series where they took on they took on the reverse versions of themselves. I can't remember which one.
Oh,
which
the
series it
Injustice
was.
Society.
Yeah, but like Ultraman. They took on Ultraman. They took on Superwoman, right? And I remember they sent the Shazam family over to our universe, right? They showed up. Batman's the only one there, right? Batman's the only one there, and he's like, oh god, he's like throwing batarangs or whatever. But he clicks the alarm. The two Shazam guys are like, "What are you going to do?" He says, "Oh, that's okay." And the all the rest of the Justice League come rushing back because again, that's how that works, right? Because he can't take on any of these guys.
Yeah, but look what happened. The whole Batman. What he said? Said Aquaman, that dude's stronger than you.
And there's the thing, right? He's the only one, but he's the only one who jumps into the portal, right? Takes on Superwoman by himself, right? And spoilers ahead to everybody. Gets basically she cracks his rib. She literally toys around with him for like 10 minutes. And she's like, "Oh, I like the little noises you make. I love it when my pets make those little noises." And she could have killed him she could have literally killed him at any second, right? He had to outsmart her again, just like he always does, right? And even at the end of that episode, it was one of those things where in order to save both galaxies, he had to do something crazy because Owlman had lost his mind or whatever the heck it was, right?
Owlman was whooping his ass.
Oh, dude. Yeah, there's the other thing.
Was whooping his ass.
He was
whooping his ass. I loved Owlman in that. I was like, damn,
Owlman was ridiculous.
Owlman was whooping his ass. Man, come on. I know how your moves, Bully. I was like, damn. Had my man running, my man just slapping him. You like, all he needed to do was one of these. Owlman just needed to rub the backhand. It just. Like, he was giving Batman the slapperies, guy. I don't even tell you, man. But come on, man. Batman, like, really, let's be honest. Like, when he's kept in, like I'm not saying Batman isn't a strategist. Batman is, but you remember even when you read old Superman comics, Superman would be doing things, and they would write, he moved at a nanosecond. You know what a nanosecond is? A billionth of a second. Batman ain't thinking that like Flash would be Batman would go, "I'm gonna stop you. Where am I in these prison bars?" Like, Flash just move into a prison before he even like we just need to be we just need to stop. Like, I love Batman. Don't get me wrong. But when Batman's in certain scenarios, Gotham, all of that kind of stuff, and if he's wearing armor and his bat wing or doing all these guys, I understand when he's joining the crew and helping out, but let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys like Martian Manhunter, really telepathic powers, just like Batman sleep. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, Bully, they just sometimes I think these guys, right? They don't think about none of that. It's just like, man, like Batman, I love you, man, but come on, man.
Yeah, you know what it is though. Sometimes it's just economics. Batman.
Like
Batman drives
You
sales.
should have a meeting in the
You gotta
Batman
big up.
Council
You gotta
gang
big up
and
Batman.
say, Batman, calm down. Calm down. You calm down. Let the big boys talk. You calm down. Just, oh. They're sharpening his bat blade. You man, let the big boys talk. We gotta press a planet right now. We don't have time.
Yeah,
for
but,
Batman. We're pressing planets.
We're also talking about.
There was this one Justice League issue. I don't know if you ever saw it. Did you ever see it?
Which one?
Green Lantern had made these chains now around the planet, and it was Superman and Martian Man and Wonder Woman moving the planet. Like, what's Batman going to do?
Absolutely.
What, Batman just. Great work, guys. Keep it up. Great work, guys. We moved the planet 5 degrees. Keep going, guys. Aquaman's even worse. Even Aquaman just staying in the water going, yeah, the fish are fine. Keep going, Superman. There's just Bully, come on. Bully, come on. Great work, guys. Bully's just done. Like, I don't even understand.
Oh my gosh.
I know cats are gonna hate me for this, you know. Like, you leave Batman alone, but it's just like,
looks like Jay has some more heat coming his way. Oh no, he didn't just bring up Batman, the greatest villain of all comics.
Batman go with so much schemes, man.
Mega J, we used to be tight, man. Not sure we can align anymore. You have caused a fissure, my man.
It's okay. If he doesn't get me now, he's never going to get me. I'm just kidding. Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful is always good.
Skeletor says,
doing the figures.
You know what? I don't know if there are. Jay, you'll have to help me on this one. I don't think there are any figures for this, but have there been Kingdom Come figures in the past? There must have been.
McFarlane just released a Kingdom Come Batman not too long ago. He looked great. He has the big cape and everything. It's the armored Kingdom Come Batman. He looks awesome. There are plans to especially now with this, this DVD, the new 40th anniversary that's coming up. They're bound to dig deep into this one. There are gonna be deep cuts everywhere. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, you're literally talking about one of the greatest comic books ever made.
What do you think? What do you think about Mezco? Do you think they could pull off something good?
Like I
like all the fabric work and stuff like they do.
They're
hit and miss sometimes. They're hit and miss, Mezco. But
so Mezco can go screw themselves. Okay, they gotta figure out what the hell they need to do. They gotta stop doing these secret sales. All right, they gotta stop doing these stupid secret sales. They gotta freaking give enough time for people to order this shit. Okay, they can go screw themselves. All right, I love Mezco. All right, I love Mezco. I do. I love Mezco. All right, but at the end of the day, for crying out loud, make more than 10. Okay, make more than 10 freaking sets. Okay, you know how much those goddamn turtles are worth right now? $1,000. Some people want for that stupid Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set. $1,000 freaking dollars.
Yeah, they do.
All these other like Dick Tracy. Holy crap! Did those things look amazing? Have you guys seen the Dick Tracy figures?
No, I haven't seen the Dick Tracy. Did you see the Superman one?
Yeah,
the Superman in the dark sea.
Yeah, the dark side.
Dark side,
bro.
Like my son has got the Superman one. Like it was really nice.
Yeah,
they did a great job with that one, and same with the dark side.
Yeah, the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man Peter Parker, the Green Goblin.
Yeah, the Ditko Spider-Man. They went with the Ditko Spider-Man. It was really good.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. The damn thing is distribution, B, scarcity, C, freaking rarity, and stop it with your freaking conventions, which basically you're just scalper city. Stop it. Like seriously, you are literally selling to scalpers at this stage.
That's what's up.
Like my God. Like seriously.
You know what? I've got one here from Randall, and I had heard something about this, but I wasn't quite sure if it was confirmed or not. Randall Guzik says, if this has been mentioned already, I will remove. But the Batman artist Carl Mostert has died at the age of 43.
Oh dang! What was that today?
Or was that?
I think it was yesterday. I think I came across it on socials yesterday, and it's like it's been a rough one for the art community, for the comic book art community. We're losing some cats and losing them early.
I got it up. If you want to throw that one up.
Wow. 43, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yep. Leaving cool.
He had just been at Comic-Con Africa.
You know, our condolences to the
Yeah,
friends and family.
absolutely.
Carl. This is crazy, man. We losing some guys, man. We losing some guys.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, did you guys like sports fans out there? Let the man into the freaking Hall of Fame, Pete Rose. Pete Rose died. I mean,
it was a bevy, like a flurry of announcements, because John Amos, who played in Good Times, he played the father in Good Times and was in Coming to America. He passed away recently. Apparently he passed away in August, but it was announced yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. I heard about that yesterday too. That's crazy. A lot of guys. We've lost a lot.
Chris Christopherson,
yeah,
who was Whisper in Blade.
Yeah, that's right.
He passed away the other day. It's it's head shaking.
Maggie Smith died
from Harry Potter.
That's right.
Yeah, but she's done way more than that. She was in Sister Act.
Oh, she's done tons.
She was incredible.
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. I mean, come on.
And then that's not even talking about her stuff in like the 70s.
Her body of work is
Cats and Third Earth guy. What are we talking about? Man? She's been around, boy. She's been around for a long time.
She was in Hook, for crying out loud. Hook, you know what I mean? She was incredible actress, right? She was in Clash of the freaking Titans, man. Like seriously, she was
there
Hera.
you go.
She was Hera, man. Like just a loss in so many different things.
This is what I'm talking about. Like time isn't going to give you time. So guys, if not now, when? Like
take it.
What,
You
what
got
are you waiting for? Like you got an idea, you got a thing. Get it together, man, and just do it. Do it. I mean, just do it. Put it out there, man.
Steve Vendetta's got a good one too, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to him. James Howlett, I love the name, by the way. Pop Mark X Gong Toys just released really nice Kingdom Come Superman and Shazam Mezco style.
Oh, really? I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Pop Mark
and then
Gong Toys?
Steve Vendetta, I'm coming for that belt. Hush, sock wool.
Oh, Steve, you picked the wrong fight. I'm telling you right now. What? Let's take out the measuring tip again. How tall are you again, Huey? 6'6".
Yeah, he's not short.
He's not a short man.
Jalen Parks says, I get what you guys are saying, but Hugh should read JLA, The Tower of Babel by Mark Waid.
Oh, here's Hugh's taking the notes.
Here we go. That's right.
He's taking the notes.
You taking the notes.
Tower of Babel.
He's got the follow-up comment.
There was a line of Kingdom Come figures from DC Direct. They look great, but were not very posable.
That was years ago. Our good friend Del Morgado, he has the entire set. I was so jealous.
Oh wow!
If you subscribe to Del from Hell Studios, he actually showcases. I made him do a walkthrough of his entire house, and he actually showcases every single one of his Kingdom Come figures. I was so jealous. They're basically small statues for the most part, but this back when DC Direct was just doing homage figures when you think about it, right? And anyway, back in the day, Toy Biz and all the old school action figure makers, they were all basically statues. I mean, like they could move their arms a little bit like this and this, but it was all about the cool poses, man. Just like the cool poses, and I mean, even He-Man here. I mean, like what. That's it. Like that's all Skeletor can do. You know what I mean? Like he can't. He's got the spring action, but that's about all you can do with the back to the 90s.
The reason why I asked you about Mezco is just like when I look at when I see these figures, I want them done with like the fabric, like, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. I don't want just like a plastic, you know, painted on stuff. Like, I would love to see those integral like details, you know, the plastic, like Wonder Woman have a nice rope that is like, you know what I'm saying.
Have you seen the Fantastic Four, Hugh?
Yeah, the Fantastic Four is dope. I liked it a lot.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and the Doom. Did you pick up the Doom? See the Doom too? The Doom was nice too. They did a great job with it. You know, I thought it could be a little bit thicker though. Like, I still feel like if you're gonna do Doom, you need to widen.
He's got to have presence, man. He's got to have presence.
You can't give him this thinnest body and just he needs to look like.
Because he's also going to go toe to toe with Ben, right?
Yeah, he
at
looks
certain points.
armored up. He needs to look armored up. He just doesn't feel armored up to me. But you know, I thought they did a great job with the Fantastic Four and the Mystical Doom. Like, the Superman turned out really good. Like, I have it here. The Ditko Spider-Man, like you said, turned out really nice. The Green Goblin, like, turned out really, really nice. And then the Dark Side was really nice too. I was just thinking, you know, if there's another company that's doing it with that kind of fabric and like, just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just think for me, that's when I would collect them, if they were doing it with like fabric and stuff, and just really, you know.
Yeah, it's got its pros and its cons though. I mean, like the problem with and Mezco is well known for this now. You know, the silicone bodies that they use.
Yeah.
Right. There's a big fear later down the line, because the metal, they're made of metal. Like the frame that's inside is metal. So the fear that a lot of people have is later on, enough manipulation and enough, if you play around with it enough, and they're going to rip the silicone bodies that they have. They're going to rip. So that's the biggest fear. And it's interesting because the thing is more of a traditional, more of a traditional action figure where you can see the joints, right? But that's just his nature, right? Because he's got all these big rocks, right? But everybody else has these silicone bodies, these fabric soft goods, right? But they look fabulous. I mean, they do look.
I just think they did a great job, man. Like,
hey, man, is that Rebecca Ramin?
See, that's the Doom, and like, that's not bad.
He's a little thin.
Yeah, he's just a little thin to me, but like, I like the work. Like, it just, you know, I like to see that stitching. I like the work. You know, like, look at the belts. Like, you know,
it does have to give like realism. Like, you know, there's a certain amount of realism that they want to achieve too, right? So I think that's actually why he's a little bit smaller in the frame. And at the same time, when you pair him up against Johnny Storm or a Sue Storm, and even Reed Richards, I mean, like, you know, there is that sort of realism where they want to get to, and I think that's the thing. They also have just like any other company out there, they're dealing with similar body types because, you know, they have a certain mold that they go to, and I think that's really where those decisions get made, right? That's why the Thing is such a great character for them, because he's really out there. He's way out there, right? He is this gigantic, huge beast, right? So it is what it is.
James, before you go ahead, is Rebecca Ramin who they modeled Sue's head over after?
Rebecca Stamos?
Yeah.
No, there's no likeness rights here. I mean, like, I think that they were going for. I mean, there's obvious. You can see you can see different people in different faces, right? But it might be. You never know. We won't know until somebody tells us, because obviously they didn't pay for any likenesses, right? But I mean, but I love the fact that these guys look like they are from, you know, pretty much when the Fantastic Four was actually conceived, though, you know, the 1940s, you know what I mean, 1950s. I think that they sort of had that look, you know what I mean. Even the costumes themselves look.
They're definitely Phase 1 costumes.
Yeah, and I love that. I love the world, and he was right. The fabric. Sorry, wrong zoom. The fabric alone does look really, really nice on them. They make the right choices when sculpting these characters, for sure. I mean, like, it is a great choice. You know, even Doom himself, right? I mean, he looks as realistic as you can be at this scale. So you know, there's a lot to take in for Mezco. Again, I have and you know what, anybody from Mondo will tell you this. I have a very critical view when it comes down to like how sales are handled and things like that. So I just want Mezco to start getting more announcements like, "Hey, we're gonna be selling this guy in a month, not 2 days before." They actually get the freaking thing out there. Oh my god! Give me at least a week. Come on, guys. And then I just finished buying. I have a lot of these Master Universe 6-inch figures from Mondo. Literally, give us a break too. I literally just dropped $400 on a Battle Cat. You know what I mean? Like, give me another month to save up for a $200 Doom. Like, come on, seriously, give us a break. Oh my god,
Doom's almost 300, man. What are you talking? Doom's almost 300.
Like.
Mezco, you got James Twisted, guy.
This kitty don't pay for itself. You know what I mean? Like he's a big boy. This there's a damn cat. This a goddamn. I'm literally.
That's a serious battle cat.
I went to the. I don't need to go to an adoption agency. I already got it. I got a cat. This is a beast. Oh my god.
James, man. James, they got you. They got you for real.
Oh, they never let me go.
You got James Twisted, man. What's going on, man? You got him twisted. You guys got to get your shit in order. You got James Twisted.
Well, speaking of figures, and speaking of, that shift that Kingdom Come was kind of making a little bit of a comment on. Rob Liefeld, I had no idea this was even a thing. Rob Liefeld has Toyline.
Yeah, he
has at least 2 characters.
He's making it. He doesn't exactly have it yet.
It's coming out in 2025, right? I think that's when everything else will be coming out.
No, it's the third quarter of 2024. That's a target release. You can see it right there.
Well,
but
wait a second, though.
I'm not sure he's going to make it, but
we're kind of past. We're leaving it.
Exactly. I mean, like, they're still in the they're still in the test shot phase. I mean, like, but it is loose collector. So I mean, they've been known to. It might be a little bit further back now, but they still, at the end of the day, they have a proven track record of making some great action figures, and these ones are no exception. I mean, these guys look ridiculous. Here's a comparison.
I mean, the detail is there. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, look at that.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know who the guy on the left is, but I mean the guy in the middle.
That looks like Cable. I think
that is Cable. I was just kidding.
That's Sid Vicious, I believe.
On the right.
That is Sid Vicious.
Yeah, that's Sid Vicious.
I was making a joke because obviously, Cable being one of
Liefeld,
other wonderful creations, right? And of course, this one here, he looks exactly like, there's not much variance there when we're talking about
head sculpt's a little bit different.
It is 100%. But I mean, you can see a lot of inspiration there, right? But yeah, they're going to be about 6-inch scale for sure. A lot of detail. I mean, look at the musculature in those. Look at those veins. I mean, geez, Louise, this guy's dry. He's taking diuretics. He's taking whatever. I mean, this guy is. He's about to go on stage. Like,
they're shooting tomorrow.
Oh, he's like so dry. He takes one thimble of water every half an hour. I mean, it's crazy. Just to make him stand up. That's crazy, right? And again, like they got the great stuff in terms of its overall musculature and overall sculpt and design. So yeah, and it's funny because there are creators out there who are like there's the McFarlanes of the world, because Toddy Mac, he's kind of like, yeah guys, I'm Todd McFarlane and I got this new action figures for you. It's like, I mean, he goes on stage, he starts talking, great guy. And then you got Rob Liefeld trying to sell his toys and the styles. You ever see him talk about his action figures? It's the funniest thing ever. You guys should definitely take a look at that video when you get a chance. But it really is interesting to see, these characters. I'm waiting for a Youngblood though. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting that he should start with these two guys.
Aren't there? I don't want to misspeak, but aren't there like some legal things with Youngblood?
I mean, he's. In terms of who owns the property now, or like in terms of like how it works out because he's not actually there. I think you're right. Somebody mentioned earlier that Bloodstorm, Youngblood, apparently the rights is a huge mess. There's like some sort of legal webbing that's preventing anything from happening. right? I think somebody mentioned that in one of the last streams. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's actually one of the main reasons why he's having so many issues. I love the buckles.
Yeah.
Classic Liefeld. Buckles everywhere, man. Buckles, buttons.
How many pouches does this figure come with?
Let's find out. Let's see here.
Oh man, that's awesome.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Amazing. They went with it, man. I love it.
Oh no, if you're gonna partner up with Rob Liefeld, you just gotta run with it. There's just no getting around it. You've got pouches everywhere. Now, mind you, having said that, if you look at any GI Joe characters, they have a ton of pouches too. So
yeah,
there's a lot of people who were definitely into it. But take a look at some of this articulation. I mean, this is crazy. Like that is some yoga stuff right there. That's like Dalsim
pose, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That is Dalsim on steroids, right? That's pretty cool, right? Like absolutely crazy. He comes with double neck joint, which is really neat. Shoulder hinges, multi-directional ball wrist joint, awesome. Imports, I love that. Import style joints.
What does that even mean for the
Japanese.
toy uneducated?
That means Japanese, Japanese style. Remember back in the day when we were collecting toys, and then and every now and then you come to a like $600 Japanese action figure. It was tiny, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about, right? They're the ones who pioneered that idea of multi-segmented, double hinge, double joint. You know what I mean? Like toe articulation, ankle articulation, right? So you can see that because right here you can see that there's actually two pegs in there, right? So there's a butterfly joint. Again, that's how you can get to do stuff like this, right? Just absolutely crazy.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Was it the Micronauts? I remember there were figures back when we were kids that had like a metal ball joint.
Yes, those are Micronauts.
Those are the Micronauts. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and Loose Collector's not, they're they are the ones who, they have the coffin collectibles. So they've done El Muerta, right? They've done Lady Death, right? So they're definitely in on a lot of the female characters, like 100%. So they're no strangers. If anybody's actually looking for an Emma Frost, right, this is the one you actually want because Marvel definitely does. This isn't Emma Frost, by the way, but Marvel
might as well be.
Pretty much, Marvel stays away from anything too revealing. So if you want an Emma Frost in your collection, this is actually the one that you sort of really want because she's actually got the she's got what you really want.
Oh my god, man!
Action figures have come a long way, Hugh. Action figures have come quite a long way. It's actually pretty scary how far. But again, this is now. I'd be amiss if I didn't mention at least that Loose Collector has actually been criticized for their certain characters not being able to stand up. But I mean, come on, look at the size of these feet. They're like the smallest feet ever, right? And these characters are top heavy. I mean, let's be perfectly honest with that. I'm not gonna lie about that.
So they're coming with stands or what?
Getting them to actually stand is a challenge, but getting any female figure to actually stand has always been a bit of a challenge, right? So, but by the way, this is not the Hulk. This is actually Jekyll and Hyde. They're a Jekyll and Hyde figure. They've actually just painted him green, and their Jekyll and Hyde figure is absolutely ridiculous. By the way, I think we're going to pass him eventually. They did the Rocketeer as well, which was a lot of fun.
That actually doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Rocketeer was a lot of fun. Here's an example of where the Rocketeer stands. There's Jekyll and Hyde. There's Hyde right there. Hyde is massive. Hyde is a huge character, right? And they also got some wonderful werewolf characters. These guys are awesome. Again, they picked the right.
Lady
Death. Let them pick the right
or
partner.
Vampirella. Sorry.
Yep. No, this one is what's her name? Devil. I can't remember. It's not Devil, but somebody is going to help me out here. But basically, it's part of the. It's part of the Coffin Comics.
Okay, part of their line.
Yeah. So. Yeah, these guys are definitely well versed in in figures, so it's not like they're not partnering up with he's not partnering up with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. So yeah, a lot of great stuff. See, these are that's the Jekyll and Hyde, and that's the
Interesting
werewolf.
that he didn't go through McFarlane.
I think that there's probably a real big reason for that. I think there's probably a really big reason for that for that decision. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're still friends, but at the end of the day, it's just one of these things, right? You don't want to get you don't want the two of them have such history together,
yes,
right? That it's one of these things. He probably wants to work with they probably want to work with people who they can really tell each other off if they need to, right? You know what I mean? Because like you don't want to miss. By the way, there's the Lady Death.
Death there.
Yeah, that's their Lady Death, right? I think that it's just that was probably part of the decision, and more than likely, I think Loose Collector probably approached Rob, and pitched him the idea. I think that's probably more of the more of how this came about, and yeah, we're gonna see how these guys handle it. But yeah, I think they're more than capable of doing the figures for Rob, and they do look great. You know what I mean in terms of what they actually are. And again, these are just early prototypes, but I mean, I'm excited to see these guys and what they can do with them. So it's gonna be interesting seeing pouches. We're gonna see pouches, guys. We're gonna see a lot of pouches, a lot of knives, a lot of guns. It's gonna be
accessories bonanza.
Rob Liefeld at his best. That's basically what it's going to Purgatory. That's what it was. Jim Gillespie. Thank you, Jim. Purgatory. It was Purgatory.
Of course,
yes.
Of course, right.
Yeah. She looks the devil herself. Purgatory.
Purgatory. That was it. Thank you, Jim.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that.
Steve said that TMP released Youngblood action figures in the 90s.
Yes, in the 90s. Yeah. But again, there's some rights, massive rights issues that are going on right now. Steve also says FF debuted in 1961. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
I was grasping for straws at that point. I was like,
it was 61, and then he is correct about Challengers of the Unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of that space race kind of storytelling back in the day.
I was around the ballpark. I think.
Yeah, we weren't even twinkles in the eye of our parents yet. So
not even.
And speaking of extreme and all the things that we're looking at, one thing I'm and I know Hugh and I have had this conversation many times. There's a villain problem in comics. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or anything, and I'm wondering if things like Civil War, even Kingdom Come, have contributed to it, where we're so focused on the heroes and the heroes fighting each other. And I know the MCU has touched on it, where the heroes are the actual, they're the threats, that we're losing some great opportunities for stories because our villains, the villains that we've all grown up with, that we've come to know and love, are being sidelined. Other than perhaps maybe Spider-Man and Batman, whose rogues galleries are probably 1 and 2, with Batman probably being number 1. You don't really get a lot of villains, I like headlining the monthly books, where you get a 2-parter with a villain, and then you move on to another villain, and then you move on to another villain. And then you don't see maybe one of the arch villains for, half a year. And so when they pop up again, it actually means something. And even with Batman, how many Joker stories can you tell, for crying out loud? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Joker stories will never end. I think they just released another Joker. Joker is a character in himself, right? I mean,
yeah.
At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
I know where you're coming from, Steve. I think I know what you're saying. I think at the end of the day, there's another conversation to be had about that too. Like these are 40-year-old characters. No, what am I talking about? These are 80-year-old characters. You know what I mean? Like some of them are coming closer to 100. You know what I mean? Like it's incredible how old some of these characters are, and they never age. You know, they just never. Nobody ever dies in comics. You know what I mean? Like it's the old joke.
Especially if you're in the X-Men.
Yeah, and now with the multiverse, the multiverse is probably the one thing that Marvel and DC really came up with this genius idea. We never actually have to create new characters anymore, right? Like we can just have a recycling idea of Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman. We can just keep bringing them from different universes and tell different stories. It's kind of crazy. They're scared, like anything else. IPs are precious, right?
But let's take horror for instance, right? A horror movie is basically driven by its villain, right? Jason, Freddy, Chucky, like they're the stars. Even if you look at FF, Doctor Doom, and you could argue, I don't know, I don't have any proof of this, but I would argue that Doctor Doom inspired Darth Vader. The look, just everything, how regal he is, at least until the other movies came about, the last 6. Spider-Man has, I would argue, 2 classic ones, and then in the new iteration, it's Venom, right? So you got Doc Ock, you got Green Goblin, you got Venom. Daredevil has, I guess, a Spidey villain as Kingpin, and what's his name? Bullseye, right? Punisher is kind of a side antagonist. But what you're getting a lot of the times nowadays are heroes fighting heroes. And where are the villains? Like where are the I guess the catalysts for the great stories? Because how many times is Black Panther going to fight Cap? Like, come on.
I don't know, man. I tell you, it's just everything to me is just, when I read a lot of the stuff, it's just, there was coming up in comics, which is different from like now, but coming up from comic, there was a real understanding of levels between characters. You had your top tier, you had characters who are this, and certain characters that were kept in certain veins, like your street level characters, your your teams got, and it was kind of great because then when something came that was big, you know what I'm saying? It was like, well, this is beyond this character, but these characters have to handle that, or you know what I'm saying? If something was this, then it was like, oh, those characters could handle that and stuff. But now everybody's like, pass around the gauntlet with the rings, or get the universal Mr. Universe power. It's just like everybody's power levels have just gone so all over the place. It just, nothing really reads the same anymore, like in the sense of, well, at least how I read it. Like, and so it's just like, I don't think a lot of the times what's moving the stuff isn't like you said, it's like, it's not even the oh, we gotta fight this villain. It's like, it just seems like it's just like these conflicts with other superhero characters. Well, I didn't like what you said. I didn't like how you handled it. And then they're fighting, and it's like, again, where it comes down to this whole thing about what defines heroism now. Like, it's just very blurred. Like, just, there's the line. Well, it's just wiped away now. Like, like Cats, there was a definite thing where we were coming up that heroes didn't kill. That was just a definite thing. And then, so when it was written that a character got killed, it was like a big deal. Like, oh my God, such and such died. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? And then when a character like Galactus would appear, it was a big deal. Like, this was Galactus, the world leader. Now, guys, Thor threw his hammer, Galactus helmet. I'm like, wow, okay, we can just do that to Galactus now. Like, it's just like everything's been blurred. Like, everything is just, the scales of a lot of things have been blurred. So it's just like we have to do more and more sort of outrageous stuff to bring some kind of, you know what I'm saying, interest to the story. Where before it was just like, when Dr. Doom was like, in this issue, Dr. Doom, like, it was serious because Dr. Doom was that dude. He fucked up the Fantastic Four, fucked up the Avengers. He was just that dude. Now it's like, for Dr. Doom to be something, Dr. Doom has to have the power of the Beyonder. and the 5 rings. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like everything is so blown out of just these different levels. It's just like it just doesn't read the same how we were coming up, like where things were very tiered, very tiered.
Is it
And
because everything has to be an event?
Parameters of these tiers. Now everything is wild, wild west. Like it's just
Huey,
all over.
not to interrupt, but is it because everything has to be an event now? So because you've got all right, because everything is an event, it's like Secret Wars 1, Secret Wars 2, Secret Wars 3.
The only thing that sells right now
Crisis on Infinite Earths, Absolute Power.
The only thing that sells is number ones. The only things that are guaranteed sales are number ones.
Yeah.
Guaranteed
sales are number ones. I think Hugh's onto something though, because we are dealing with 80+ year old characters. You know what I mean? And there are only so many stories you can tell. I mean, like one of the things that stuck with me always is when Hugh mentioned to me, he's like, you know what, I used to love it when Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, they would always have a Bible. You know what I mean? This reference where every single time they needed to remind somebody of something, you would have a small box in the corner that has an asterisk and says, "Yeah, this happened in issue
continuity box.
Yeah,
Yes.
This needs to happen in issue 6. If you want to check it out, this happened in issue 254, right? Of the Amazing Spider-Man, right? All that's lost now. As Huey said, like they have to be bigger, better, right? It's like characters who we just talked about with Batman. Right, Batman has no business being on Acropolis. Batman has no business staring down,
dodging Omega beams.
Like, he's like, if you want to kill me right now, go ahead. But I set bombs all over Acropolis.
My man dodging Omega beams.
Everything will blow up in like 2 minutes.
Code is supposedly code, like Delta 1, 2, 3, 4. Like really, like really, Delta is going to be in Apocalypse. Right? I'm going to do Delta 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like wow, buddy, like get out, like stop. But sorry, get back to
what you're bluffing. You're bluffing. Black Delta 677. Does that sound like I'm bluffing?
Burns.
You know what of the best things I like? A lot of people are gonna put down the Flash movie, right? But one of the best scenes in that movie was when Michael Keaton they're just finished busting down all the doors at this Russian gulag, and all of a sudden they got to this computer, and you see Batman come up. He's like, okay, says incorrect. He's gonna try to input the codes one at a time, right? It's like he's gonna be there for 2 years, right? And then here comes the Flash. I tried every combination. Well, there, fine. Like seriously, that is the thing, right? The limitations of man. But I think that the Hugh is right. They've written themselves into a corner, and they refuse, whether it's a conscious decision or not. They refuse to create new stories. And every time they try, it seems like it's a bit tone deaf in terms of like what comic book fans really want. And I'm going to open up a can of worms here, but the reality is, who's actually reading comics today? I think we really got to consider who is the target audience for comic books right now, right? You can argue till the cows come home that we need new blood in comics, right? We need new people to read comics. Well, let me ask you something. What comics are the biggest sellers right now in the industry, right? The answer is really simple. It's manga.
Manga and Scholastic.
Manga and Scholastic, like those have hit they've hit their target audience. And you know what? They're telling the stories that people want to read. And the thing is that manga is not afraid to kill off characters. Manga is not afraid and with real consequences. You know what I mean? And they're not afraid to kill serials when their time is then it's done, right? Now you could argue Bleach just started a brand new serial again. It's like, what the hell are they doing? But you know what? It's because fans want it so badly that Shonen Jump had no choice to say, okay, fine, we'll bring back Bleach.
But that's the same with like Dragon Ball and all of that, right?
Exactly. But the thing is, the fever is there, right? People are literally yelling at them, saying, "Bring back Dragon Ball! Bring back Dragon Ball!" Instead, we have Marvel and DC saying, "No, I think we can reboot. I think we can reboot X-Men again for the umpteenth time and see if it'll stick this time." You know, it's like you said, number ones. Literally, number ones are the only ones that are selling right now, right? Because here comes a new Captain Marvel serial. Here comes a new.
Can I be honest with you? I gotta interject something there. I'll be honest, like I'm at comic book shops all the time myself. Like I'm just tonight. I was just at Comix Asylum for a month, and I'll tell you, the people that are coming in to actually collect comics, Western comics, DC, are cats our age, and a little bit young, and a little bit younger. I'm telling you straight, it's not 12-year-olds. It's not like when we were coming 12 and 11 and stuff. Like it's not that. And I've been to many comic book shops. It's not that. It's older people with money. You know what I'm saying? Collecting these series is what's keeping a lot of these books still going. You know, and it's just like, but where are the younger kids? Like you're talking about the young 13s, straight to the manga, man. Oh, do you have Mitsumutu? You know what I'm saying? Do you got you know, and that's what they're watching. That's what they're reading. You know, they'll tell you everything, like you said. They'll tell you everything about One Piece till your brain turns blue. You know what I'm saying? But they can't tell you anything about what's going on with, you know, stuff. Most of the Marvel stuff and stuff, that thing, it's because they're watching the movies.
Movies or cartoons.
Yeah.
Or the games.
So
right
now, what
Spider-Man.
What do you see them doing? They're trying to reintroduce classic issues to try to see if they can get people to get on some of these timelines, right? Get on some of these, you know what I'm saying? So they're releasing old big event stuff like Secret Wars and stuff like that to try to get, hey, look, we're going to do these things in the movie eventually. Maybe you should read some of this stuff. You know what I'm
facsimile.
saying?
Those are the facsimile issues, right?
And they're reading, you know what I'm saying? To try to say, let's try to bring the younger generation into these. And it's just, it's like, no, it's like,
it's exactly what you're saying, Hugh. I mean, like, what's the next big movie coming out for MCU? It's Fantastic Four, right? Like they just blew the lid off Doctor Doom, right? Which again, I raised my eyebrow on that, you know, in and of itself. But at the end of the day, you're still trying to catch, you know, the older fans, right? And then there's an argument to be made about how all that is just like, you know, toxic in itself. I mean, like anytime a film or something else doesn't go their way, which is like, you know, it's Star Wars or you know, Captain Marvel or all these things, all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's because the older fans didn't like it, like that's why it failed. It's like, well, maybe if you made it the way
you just didn't write good.
Yeah, maybe if you wrote it the way we want to watch it, then maybe
none of these guys want to just check themselves and say, you know what, I took an L, I messed up. Like none of these guys want to believe that they could have possibly just messed up. Nah, bully, you took an L. And it's okay. You took an L. It didn't work. Well, you tried something and it didn't work. You took an L. But it's never going to get better with guys not admitting that, yo, we messing up. You know, they're trying to be formulaic and like, oh, if this worked, do that. Or if this worked, do that. None of these cats, very few of these cats are Bravehearts anymore. Like saying, yo, that's a pretty brave idea, wicked idea. Let's try that. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody thinks like, you know, it's just like, let's try to do things like, oh, you know what? We can do all these special effects. So let's put all these special effects and everything. Well, not everything needs special effects, man. You know, look, what after all these years, how come Back to the Future still kicking ass? You can release Back to the Future now and it will still kick ass. You can put Back to the Future in the theater right now, the first, and it's still going to kick ass. Why? Because no matter what, there's not a ton of budget for effects, but man, was a story there. And in the end, it doesn't matter what kind of effects you have. You better have a story. Avengers Infinity War, all of that stuff, it worked because there was a story. And it was tight enough. The Russos just kicked ass straight. And you think, and then you have DC who failed with all their all their top tier characters just failed. Why? Because the story's all over the place. Cue the Benny Hill music. And it's all over the place. And cats don't want to admit, like, yo, dog, that shit was kind of all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least I can respect the MCU because they had a 10-year plan. And they executed it. Now, since then, you know, have they dropped the ball? Yeah. But at least they've developed something that was, you know what? At least if they put out something, you're more willing to see it because they gave you a 10 years of, that, you know what I'm saying? They built a world. DC, I don't know, man. DC's starting to stand for don't come. Because it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh boy, I'm like, you know, it's just rolling down the eyes, guy. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I
Well,
mean,
we'll see what Gunn does.
yeah, we'll see what he does. I just think cats need to get back to, you know, right now some of the best stories when you're looking at stuff visually is in video games. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, hands
video
down.
games right now is like, I watch my boy play games. I just want to watch him play because I want to continue watching the story. Like, serious video games is like, I mean, when I got introduced to The Last of Us, even way before the series, like when I got in game, I was like, what's the next one? What's the next one? When did you play it again? Because I just wanted to watch the story, you know? God of War Ragnarok, like crazy.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's
like,
true.
guys, some of the best stuff coming out of video games, man. For real, story wise. Like, you could literally edit the stuff and just let it watch, and you just going like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah, and then you have the problem, but you know, going back to the villain problem. I mean, you know, if you look at Suicide Squad, the latest game that came out, massive problems there. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody hasn't, like, again, spoilers ahead, but if anybody hasn't played that game yet, it's about how the Justice League all get infected. You know what I mean? And they become the villains. So the Suicide Squad has to actually come in and literally kill all of the superheroes. Like, they become the anti-hero superhero. And I think
how does that even get greenlit?
That's the thing. Yeah, well, it became a video game.
But what I'm saying is, like, how does that even get greenlit?
I don't know, but it's bombed so badly that people like it's really bad. It's really, really bad right now. That game is a complete shit show right now.
But the thing is, here's the thing, James. If the lines are so blurred, then it becomes, what's the point? Like, if the hero doesn't stand for something, then what's the point? If the hero is going to do the very same thing that a villain does, just under the thing that I didn't like what you do and what you do is bad, so I'm going to do that, then what's the point? Like, what's the point for you to come back and watch this thing? You come back to watch Batman, and you might get mad and say, well, why don't you kill Joker? But it's because he has a line.
This is code, man.
Says, I don't kill. And killing is bad, and I don't kill. And as much as the Joker pisses me off and I'd love to snap his neck, I can't do it. I have to put him in jail. We have to make the system work. Daredevil saying we got to make the system work. You know what I'm saying? You had to have a code. There has to be a code. If there's no code, then what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of laws? What's the point of everything? And I think that everything gets blurred now. Like, when I'm looking at these books and I'm watching my kids watch YouTube of some Spider-Man issue, Spider-Man gets vexed, so he decides he's going to kill such and such. I'm just like, what? Really? This is what we're writing? Spider-Man gets vexed, so he decides he's going to kill Kraven the Hunter or something. Like you're just going, why is killing the first thing in your brain? Like, this guy's just supposed to stop villains. Like, why does he have a killing mentality? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you cross that line, then what's the point? What's to bring you back now? Then every time he fights, why don't you just kill him? Why are you putting that dude in jail? You didn't like what he did, just kill him. Why are you trying to stop anybody? Just kill him. Why is this fight taking 2 minutes? Just kill him. Spider-Man, have your spider gun now. Just swing with that. Oh, I don't like you. Kill him. Like, what's the point?
The thing that I see, Huey, is that it's the rise of the anti-hero. And I'll get back to this.
Everybody can't be a Punisher.
No, everyone can't be Punisher, everyone can't be Wolverine. But I think it goes back to money in a weird way. But I think it's a misguided chase for dollars. If those are the characters that are selling, right? Then we saw it in the 90s where, like, characters all of a sudden became darker that weren't traditionally darker because everyone was chasing cash, right? Trying to make more money based on the properties as they existed already. But you know how there's like Coke, and then if you're old enough, you remember New Coke, and then basically New Coke became Dead Coke because old Coke came back, and you know, you can mess with the formula. You have your cherry Coke and all that kind of stuff now, but don't mess with the original. And I think that's the issue. So Suicide Squad is great. Fine, they got a couple movies. I understand hitting the iron while it's hot. But having them elevated over the Justice League to me makes no sense in a story that would be a video game. Because what, Deadshot killing Flash or defeating Flash is not something that, you know, most people are going to pay money for. They want to see Flash defeat Deadshot.
Or
they want it the flip way.
Or do they?
Or do they?
This is what I wonder. Do they?
Right?
Like I just don't see. You know, at least, you know, regretfully, I'm going to have to go soon. But
yeah, we're going to end soon.
You remember what I respected about coming up with comic books back in the day? Stan would be like, you could come to Stan and say, "Hey, Stan, I have this story about Daredevil fighting the Hulk," and he'd sit there and go, "Well, you know what? You could write anything you want to do about Daredevil fighting the Hulk, but Daredevil can't beat the Hulk. Just so you know, because there was tiers, there was levels to these things." So what the writing became is the creative way that Daredevil would do things to try to stop the Hulk. And that's where the story was, in the mission of him trying to stop the Hulk.
Against all odds.
And then doing something that was so out of desperation and then realize, oh my God, I did this thing and it might have killed him. And then like, no, the Hulk comes out of the flames. You still can't kill me, bully. But oh my God, like the whole thing was him thinking to himself, I crossed the line. You know, that's where you get into that personal, you know what I'm saying? His morals are like, his moral line has been shaken. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up with these codes that we took on the schoolyard with us. We knew a bully when we saw it. You're a bully. You treat people bad. Like, you're a bully, we're going to fight you. You know, now it's like kids just wilding, man. Like, you could see it. It's in everything now. And to me, it's hard sometimes when I look at this stuff and I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah, and you know what, Hugh, I think following on that train, and I know you got to go, but like on these last few points, I think that one of the other things that's happening right now is that every character now, for whatever reason, for like since time immemorial, we've always known what black and white is, good and evil, and this and that, and you know all this crazy stuff, but now there's this gray line, like there's a definitive gray line now, like they're like, oh, you know, like if you look deep enough, the Joker is like this because, you know, he was abused. He was abused, or he was like his childhood was like there's explanations for why people are evil, and that didn't really used to be there. You know what I mean? Like yes, Victor Von Doom was whatever, right? He put a mask on, he went crazy, whatever, things like that. But that was already written way back. You know what I mean? Sometimes evil is evil. You know what I mean? Like there's and it has to be stopped. But then again, just like you said, that's what separates good guys from bad guys. The ability to realize, you know what, this guy's got to be stopped. But at the same time, I am not a murderer. I am not somebody who's just going to go, you know, like that's like Sergeant Rock can do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? But the Punisher will do what the Punisher does. But
read. Let me interject there too.
Sure.
Read like most Ditko Spider-Mans when you start now. Most of Spider-Man's villains were more powerful than him. If you read Spider-Man books back in the days, he never won with just punches and kicks or whatever. He had to scheme these dudes all the time. And that was the beauty of reading Spider-Man, because he would be fighting guys more powerful than him. And he'd have to come up with some kind of trick to outwit them. You know, they're chasing him down some corridors, whatever. He gets around one corridor and he web up the area so the guy flies around and you know what I'm saying? Like there was just more to the character in the way of intellect and trying to figure out things, and you know what I'm saying, and on a level to, and then there was some characters that was like, this guy's just too powerful, like, you know what I'm saying, like I can't beat him alone, and maybe I might gotta get help from the Human Torch. Like there was just more of this kind of, man, like levels to things where you could kind of just intro a world, and there was the level, and you're kind of swimming in that a bit. Now everybody's a world breaker, everybody's a cosmic this, everybody is this, that, and it's like
Omega level mutants.
If you can mash up the planet, then why are you having a problem in the next issue getting into a punch out with the Thing? If you're the Hulk and you're the world breaker, you know, you now have the power to smash a planet. Why are you having problems with the Thing? Why is this person giving you a problem? Why is this happening? Why is that? Like it just becomes like Thor was a top tier dude back in the day. When Thor, Thor didn't even buck you with a hammer. And if Thor had to pull out the hammer, then it was on. Thor could punch a lot of dudes, but then when he pulled out the hammer, it was like, oh shit. That was that Sal Buscema feed off the the page type shots when Thor hit you with a hammer. Now I see Thor hit somebody in the face and the guy goes, "Irk." I said, Thor bucked the dude with his hammer across the face and the guy went, "Irk." I said, oh my God, that's a problem for me, It's just the levels are just, everything is all over the place. And it's like, let's throw it onto a, that didn't stick, next thing, that didn't stick, and it's just like, let's bring it back down. Let's just get to storytelling. If you would get back to just storytelling, just like, let's get back to some, bring it down, let's
100%. And
guys, let's get them back on the street.
There are ways to explain that too. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite books, one of my favorite series was when Spider-Man fought Firelord, right? Spider-Man fought Firelord, right? Yes. He had no chance. He had absolutely no freaking chance, right? He figured something out. He worked it out, and here's the key. He beat, and this is interesting, right? But you got to think about what actually happened. He beat down Firelord, right? Whether and there was anger, there was resentment, there was so many fear too. But why was he able to do that, right? Why we found out multiple issues later, right? That there was something else going on inside Peter Parker, something that gave him additional strength after the fact that could take on this Herald of Galactus, right?
I think it was wasn't the Captain Universe entity or something like that?
No, I think it was the symbiote.
Symbiote at the time.
He had the black suit.
He had the black suit.
But check the moment. James. Let's interject because you're going in a great place. Check the moment. Yeah. He's swinging around this city, Firelord chasing him. He's trying to do everything to stop Firelord, can't stop him. To the point that he leads Firelord to a gas station and said, okay, this one. And then Firelord blasts and then he dodges. But what happened at that moment? He goes, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to kill him. That's what he thought at first. And then Firelord comes out and then he's like, I have nowhere I can go. I have nowhere I can swing. And then he just said, I got to put everything, like it was just, there's nothing else. And he had to just that beautiful, remember Ron Friends? That beautiful shot of him.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
He's him from all different sides, his agility, and he's just using, what did you hear in the writing? Out of pure desperation. Spider-Man, like, God, when do you get that?
And there was that moment where about 5 or 6 panels before, he was like, this guy's insane. Yeah. Like this is an Avenger. This is an Avenger thing. I gotta wait for the Avengers. Like and I'm just gonna go swing away. If I don't engage him, he'll calm down, right? And he says, you know what? I'm gonna swing away. Nobody's gonna get hurt if I don't take him on. But then he starts thinking to himself, you know what? I did this already, right? I walked away once and people got hurt, and then he puts the freaking mask on. He says, never again, right? And he goes and he does his thing. Yeah, because it's one of those things.
On a guy, how much time stronger than him? But that was just something about Peter Parker. I can't let it go. Even if it cost me my life, I can't let it go. Like these were the things that built up moments in you when you're reading. You're like, damn. Like I'm telling you, like I said, that Ron Friends. Like I'll never forget that shot, man. Firelord in the middle, and Spider-Man just multiple shots of him punching him from different angles, and just out of sheer desperation. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man lashes out, and you saw the greatness of that character at that moment, to the point that the Avengers had to go, like, stop Spider-Man. Out.
We got Captain America grabs him by the hand. He's like,
he wasn't even conscious of what this dude. It was pure adrenaline and just, I am going to die if I don't put this guy out.
Yeah.
Like
people are gonna die. People are gonna die, right? It's like
just beautiful shit. Like just
absolutely epic.
That's why Spider-Man was my dude for me coming up, because it was like he wasn't the most powerful, but he found a way, like all the time. It was those moments that made you go, this character is just amazing. Like, amazing Spider-Man. Like like all the time, man. He's always strong.
It's been amazing to have you here, brother. Like seriously,
absolutely.
Hugh,
we really appreciate it.
how can people reach you, Hugh, and what are you up to right now?
Yeah, you guys can reach me at Instagram, Hugh Rookwood Art, or Instagram, Chosen Studios. That is CHOZENSTUDIOS Studios, or go to www.chosenstudios.com. I'm getting a new site worked out on right now, called Hugh Rookwood Art, just www.HughRookwoodArt. Working on that right now, and when that's up and thing, I'll put a good blast about that. And right now just doing books, working on some stuff, and like Steve there, I'm hoping to come out with some new things and creative content, because now's the time. Now's the time. No more time.
Well, we can't wait to see it.
Yes,
Absolutely. If you want to throw that up really quick, we'll just show. So, guys, definitely follow Hugh on Chosen Studios on Instagram, and of course Hugh Rookwood Art. And if you want to see some crazy artwork, guys, I mean, he's got the belt right now. You guys know that he's bringing the ruckus, and of course, guys, he's got some great sales going on right now for some framed artwork. And you got to see it, guys. Like, seriously, you're not gonna forget Hugh Rookwood once you see some of his amazing artwork. Huge stuff. Thank you, Hugh, for being here tonight. It's been absolutely incredible.
Bless. Everybody have yourselves a good night. Thank you again. I'm sorry I have to bounce like this, but it was a great time, man. Thanks
No, it was
again,
our-
guys.
It was our pleasure having you.
I hope we can do this again. All right?
For sure.
Anytime, Hugh. Anytime. All right.
Yeah.
Hugh,
Take
have a
care
good
of
night.
yourself.
Peace
Yeah,
out,
good night,
guys.
Hugh.
All
Take
right,
it
man.
easy.
And to that bully who wants the belt, know where I'm at. X. Take care, bullies.
Take it easy.
All right.
Later, man.
Peace. Always great to see Hugh Rookwood in the house. Guys, definitely please check out Hugh Rookwood on at Chosen Studios and chosenstudios.com. I think they're having a little trouble with their current provider. It doesn't seem to be coming up. But if you want some commission work, Hugh is definitely taking commissions. Actually, you know what? Let's throw that one right back up, guys. Steve, let's take a quick look at. I mean, seriously, he is an incredible artist. Steve and I have known him for years. He does everything. He does cartoons. He does Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He does incredible line work, and of course, he does comic books. I mean, comic books. Seriously, his work has just got this energy about it that is just absolutely crazy, and it's no wonder he took home that belt this year, Steve. And anyone who wants to throw down with you, you better be ready, because he's gonna bring the ruckus, as he always says.
You better come prepared.
Oh yeah, 100%. What a night, Steve! What a freaking night!
No, this was great.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Thanks, guys, for being here tonight. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. Steve, what's next for you?
I've got an in-store signing at Red Nails 2 in downtown Toronto. It's at Bloor and Jane. So I'll be there on Saturday from 12 till 5, and I'll be signing issues of Atrium, as well as giving away free posters and just introducing people to the world of Atrium. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great little shop. Vito and Sammy, who run it, are great guys, and I just can't wait to spend some time with them and with their clientele, and have some fun with Atrium. How about yourself?
Just keeping everything going. Everything is moving along. Of course, a lot of toy news happening all the time, and of course we just keep keeping our ears to the ground for anything coming up. Surprisingly, no new pre-orders happening just yet, but there's always something on the horizon, Steve. But guys, Atrium issues 1 through 5, action, horror, thriller. 20 days to go, and of course, smashing through that goal, $1,850 of a $112,000 goal. Still a lot of room to make this happen. What other stretch goals can we expect, Steve? Because definitely want to get you guys past the 2K mark and beyond. Hopefully, we'll get to 5K. That'll be incredible. But what else can we expect from Atrium?
We have fridge magnets and bookmarks and stickers, foil stickers, such as the like. But if we can get to like 100 backers, we're thinking of doing like over 100 backers. We're thinking of doing cards. So character cards for each character, which will have some details on the back and some artwork on the front. And then if we can get over that, we're also toying with t-shirts for our backers.
Yeah, guys, definitely check out Atrium on Kickstarter, issues 1 through 5. Again, let's get these guys up to 5,000. I mean, seriously, they deserve it. 100 backers as the goal, and of course, maybe we'll even see some t-shirts coming along the way. Steve, amazing night as always, my friend.
Jay,
hope things are
had a
going
great
well.
one.
Absolutely.
Before we go, I want to give Steve 2 more of his comments. He says the same can be said for Spider-Man's classic clash with the unstoppable Juggernaut. Absolutely.
That was incredible, yeah.
That was a good one. And then word is old Hush Sock Wool can't see nothing without his glasses.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Don't put that one to the test, okay? Like seriously, you don't want to be testing that one too far. But anyway, Thank you, Steve. Always a pleasure to see Steve in the chat. And thanks to everybody who joined us tonight. Always fun to hang out with you guys. It's great. Don't forget, guys. Definitely check out Comix Asylum on Instagram, YouTube. Definitely subscribe to Comix Asylum. And Steve will be at Red Nails later this week.
Yeah, Red Nails too.
That's right, guys. Definitely
on Saturday.
Get your chance to get a first of all, pick up one of the issues, variant covers, or whatever he happens to have available, signed. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely chew his ear off, finding out about the next few issues, and of course, finding out how you can help support the next Atrium issues. Steve, awesome night. Thank you again, my friend. It's been so much fun.
Absolutely. Same with you. And everyone, make sure that you check out Mega J Retro. He's got lots of stuff going, dropping almost every day. All right. So we will see you next week. We've got a special guest next week, an indie creator who's got a couple of books out. So we're really looking forward to having them be our guests. All right. You guys take care, and we'll see you in 7.
Good journey, everybody.